Hi, this is David of the Discount Dragon, and today I am speaking as the person that started our group, which is Stand in the Middle. This is the first video for that group, and it's an important one. I hadn't planned on making this video today because it's based on current events, but it's extremely important, and I would ask you to please sit through the whole thing, if at all possible. Firstly, this video is not being monetized for the foreseeable future because I don't want any sort of barrier to people watching this video. Once the issue has been resolved, I will monetize it because I'm monetizing all my videos just as a matter of course. But for now, it will not have ads at the front because I want people to see it. Okay, so here is what's going on. There is a problem with President Trump. And this is a problem that both the left and the right need to come together on and help resolve. Now, the people on the left have been protesting every move he makes, every time he blows his nose or bats an eye, which is reducing your credibility. But here is an issue you need to pay attention to because it's really important, as opposed to a lot of the other stuff that's been overblown. People on the right, you need to help too. I know he's your guy, but he is doing something that is critically wrong and needs to be corrected, otherwise he's going to undermine himself and undermine our constitutional form of government. All right. So we can stop him from going awry. We can only do it, in my opinion, for a very short period of time with any sort of certainty. We have a very short window in which to correct the course of action he's taking. So, let's see. Let me flip my cheat sheet here. I will explain this as best I can. Then it will be up to you to go out and fact check what I'm telling you, and please do that. That is the normal course of events. People should check things, not just accept them blindly. And you should also look into this yourself, because I cannot explain everything as fully as a professional spokesperson. I don't do this full time. All right, and also, now my channel has very few people watching it. I think we're at like 60 subscribers, and not anybody's going to see this. So if you have another channel, please do a better version of this video if you feel like it. Please pass this information along in a better format. If you can speak these points more clearly, do it yourself. It is the message that needs to go out, and we need to take action. All right, so here's what it is. Trump has recently taken a stance on civil asset forfeiture, which most people don't even know about. They don't really understand what it is or why it's extremely dangerous. I will attempt to explain it in simple terms as best I can. I will explain how it happened that he took a stance on it, what it is, and how we stop this course of events from going forward. If nothing stops this, and if he does follow through on supporting civil asset forfeiture, what it means is that Trump will be moving in an unconstitutional direction. And that's bad for the people on the right, because it undermines his validity. What it will mean for the people on the left is Trump will have more power to mess with you. Your civil rights will be undermined by the continuation and expansion of civil asset forfeiture. It is insanely dangerous. I will explain this. All right, so here's how this happened. Trump probably has just about as little understanding of what civil asset forfeiture is and how it functions and why it is unconstitutional and corrosive to a free society as most of the populace has. Most people don't understand this issue, and it was thrown at him in a forum where he had to just make a judgment call on it. Essentially, he had this person come up and say, there's this congressman that wants to change the civil asset forfeiture laws so that you have to be convicted of a crime before they go into effect. And they said, the person bringing this to Trump's attention said that this would be a giant bonus for the drug cartels and that they'll build a statue of this person. So Trump is being presented with it, probably for the first time he's ever heard of it, by somebody telling him that it's a tool to stop the drug cartels and that we have to retain it the way it is. This is not the truth, or at least it's not the whole truth, and to expect Trump to understand any of this is ridiculous. But Trump does not back down. Trump does not admit his mistakes. A good example of this is, there's a million good examples, I'm not going to waste my time. Go look at the internet. You can see this. That's how he acts. He does not back down. So, why should we care about civil asset forfeiture? Sounds obscure. Sounds like something technical that isn't going to affect anybody. Here's what it is. The drug cartels own a lot of property. And since the legal processes can be slow to attack them, sometimes they could get away with their assets before the government could stop them. So they instituted civil asset forfeiture as a tool to stop the drug cartels and to seize their assets. What civil asset forfeiture does is it skips the required legal processes to do this. So, who cares about the drug cartels? Drug cartels are sons of bitches. The drug cartels are worthless. Who cares about their civil rights? And that's how it all starts. That's how all of these things start. When it was, you like calling him a Nazi, you people on the left. This is how that started. Day one, the Nazis did not throw everybody in a concentration camp. It built gradually with erosion of civil rights. And that's exactly what happened with civil asset forfeiture. Now, here is how civil asset forfeiture works. And I'll explain how it has worked in the past, because it's not new, and how it's working today. Civil asset forfeiture. So you go into a business or a private home or a church. It has been used on churches. And you say, we believe you have committed a crime. And then you take everything they've got. You take their houses, their cars, anything that you could think could be associated with that crime. Yeah, okay, we're doing it for drug cartels, who cares? It's been used on churches. It's been used on private businesses. It's been used on private citizens. And you say, well, man, maybe I can be on board with that. But you don't understand. It's not you that's guilty. And you don't have to be charged with any crime. They can seize your assets, saying, we think you might have committed a crime. And you get them back never. If they finally do charge you with a crime, you get a chance in court to try to sue the government, to try to get your money back, to try to get your house back, whatever it is. Now, they can choose never to charge you with a crime, and you get your property back never. You do not receive your property back. It's theirs, even if they never charge you with anything. Now, anybody that's remotely familiar with how our system of government works knows that this is wildly unconstitutional. But it gets worse. So here's how it gets worse. What if you're renting a house to somebody who ends up selling drugs? Well, yeah, they can come in and they can take that person's car and they can take that person's money, and then they can take the rental house that you are renting to that person. That person does not own your house. That person is simply there. But the way that civil asset forfeiture works is essentially that property becomes guilty of a crime. So if you're renting a house to someone that they decide to use this process on, they can take the house, and since you yourself are never being charged with a crime, you don't even get your day in court to get your house back. This is also used in other It's used in a lot of ways it was never intended. For instance, there is one statute, and I forget where it is. They have a statute on law that they've added since all this has come about for prostitution. So some guy drives his car to pick up a prostitute. They permanently keep the car. It's like, well, okay, maybe that's fair. Even if it's not his car. Even if it's a stolen car. So some guy steals your car, goes and picks up a prostitute. They get to keep your car, even though it's not the person's that he steals your car, and since he was using it during picking up a prostitute, he forfeits it to the state, and you cannot get it back. Churches have been hit with this. Private businesses have been hit with this. And basically, you have to prove your innocence, which is ridiculously difficult, which is why our system is set up to be innocent until proven guilty. Also, this was what drove the Inquisition, and I'm not even exaggerating, because it works like this. You go in and seize this noble's assets, you accuse him of witchcraft, the person that made the accusation keeps a percentage of his wealth, the church keeps the rest. Currently, the way it works is the state agency, like the local police force, grabs the assets, feds come in, they split the assets. There's a profit incentive for the local forces to do asset forfeiture because they get paid. This is what drove the Inquisition. You accuse a witch, you get paid. And that's where it all gets out of control. There's a profit incentive to make this expand. Now, if you can't see how this is insanely dangerous and insanely corrosive to your freedom and puts you at a lot of risk, then please stop watching this video. You are too stupid to get anywhere in this video. Go watch Dancing Cats. Now, for everybody left, you can see that this is a nightmare. It's a nightmare that's been ongoing. And Trump has just signed up to support it. He said, well, this person wants to make it innocent until proven guilty. Well, let's destroy that person. Because he was put on the spot and he doesn't back down. He may not do anything about this, but he needs to know that this is the wrong way to go. Now, here's what we do about it. First of all, explain this to anybody that will listen, because it needs to get all the way up the food chain to the media and to Trump. We have a unique opportunity that will not last long. The Supreme Court candidate that Donald Trump has nominated, Gorsuch, he's still in limbo. But he is a strict constitutionalist, which means he believes in the Constitution and the rule of law, and he can explain to Trump that this is total BS that should not be happening in a constitutional republic such as ours. It's wrong. It has always been wrong. It should not be expanded or supported or prolonged. It has to stop. Or it needs to be drastically amended. But right now, you are all at risk of this, and they could target anybody. Seriously. Go read the accounts of this. There's people freaking out and have been freaking out for years that nobody listens to. You need to listen. So, what you need to do is hit Trump with all of your Twitter, with all of your emails, write him letters, and tell him to consult Gorsuch about this. He can talk to Gorsuch, Gorsuch can set him straight, and Trump can save face because Gorsuch is his guy. He can prove Gorsuch is good and prove he can change his mind on an issue and show he has a little bit of humility. He wins huge on this. Trump wins huge, the American people win huge, and I'm going to give you a hashtag, which is Consult Gorsuch. Pump that hashtag out there. Do it for yourself. Do it for America.